So what's the reason I sold? I sold because I believe the market is going to go down 20% more.
So what's the update on the Meet Kevin situation? Being completely honest, it's a lot worse than I originally expected. So this is probably going to be my last time talking about it because it's going to be beating on a dead horse at this time. The video I did yesterday, I tried to keep it PG and respectful, but going back to his history of bashing and downing other people whenever they did the exact same thing he just did, he even bashed some people a few days ago about it. I'm going to take the gloves off more on this one. So starting this video off, I want to paint a picture for you. Imagine in the industry that you are in. So it don't matter if you're doing transportation, culinary, finance, whatever type of industry you do currently right now. Think of having direct access, meaning you talk to these people at least once a week, of the top 3 people in the world that's in your niche. So whatever you're doing, you have access, you are friends with the top 3 people. Y'all are all around the same age, so it's not like you're 20 and your mentor is like 60. They're 20 and you're 20. And you're about to make one of the biggest decisions of your career without telling any of them and getting their advice. What does that usually mean? That indicates that you are making the wrong decision. Whenever you have access to converse with others about big decisions and you don't do it, 9 times out of 10, you know you're making a wrong decision. You just don't want to get honest feedback. Meet Kevin sold $20 million of his stock and never talked to the top YouTubers in the world on finance. So since he did that announcement, what exactly has happened so far? Jeremy on financial education, he did a reaction video to it also. That is one of his boys, and I honestly gained a lot of respect for Jeremy because he kept it 100. Usually whenever you're friends with somebody, you are more biased and you're just going to protect them and not fully say what you feel in your heart. He said exactly what he felt in his heart. So watch this.
Thing is, that's usually a very, very small amount. If you go through Kevin's comment section on that video, it is a disaster. It is like almost every single comment is like negative, negative, negative. People are very despising of Kevin right now. And I think if Kevin was realistic, with himself, which I think he is, I think he understands like he deserves the hate right now, right? Because, Kevin's built his brand off of, if people sell stocks, he says they're weenie babies, right? And that's like his thing. And then he says, he made a video last week about Bill Ackman shorting the market and how Bill Ackman's so evil and all these sorts of things, right? Which got a crazy amount of views. And so Kevin's gone out there and he's attacked and made, called people names that sell stocks and then, made people that short stocks look really bad. Kevin goes from, being very bullish buying the dip to all of a sudden in a matter of 24, 48 hours to selling everything and then shorting the market. That's a whole different situation. So nonetheless, people feel like they got backstabbed in this situation, right? Where it's like, really, you're just going to make a move like this. And so, I wish Kevin would have spoke to me about this, before he had done it, because I would have told him, dude, you got to realize like how bad this makes you look in this situation. And if Kevin had just, maybe cashed out of some positions, right? And let's say went a little more cash heavy.
So the first video he did after announcing that is my 60-day strategy to buy the dip, crypto, and stocks. So what he decided to do was come up with a plan, a 60-day plan on how I can do this. Since he's so smart, I need to show you guys that I actually have a legit plan. So I attempt to watch the video to see his plan. And I don't know if the brother is on any type of narcotics or something. Something is not right. He got to be on something. His plan is terrible. And this is coming from somebody that have millions of dollars less than you. So what do I know? But I know common sense. I know 2 + 2 = 4, not 8. But if you don't believe me, here goes some of his plans.
Step 1 is going to be refinancing. Now, what I like to do when markets get tough, because when markets are good, I have a rule: I don't refinance my properties. I generally don't like refinancing at all. And see, in my Stocks and Psychology of Money group and in my real estate investing courses, we always talk about real estate is your piggy bank for a tough market. I've currently built up over $5 million in excess equity over the last 2 years in real estate. Now, I don't try to time interest rates on real estate, although it would have been nice to refinance last year at lower rates. I usually don't even remotely think about refinancing my real estate unless the market's going to crap. And so I've got about $5 million plus, maybe $5.2 million that I could draw out of real estate. And if I do activate those refinances now, I should get that cash by the first week of March, which if my timing is correct and we end up at peak fear before the first rate liftoff of March 16th, I'll be able to plow an additional $5.2 million into the market, which means I'll be able to take an additional 25% of my overall portfolio, throwing it and throw it into the market at a time that I think will probably have peak fear. I sold my Apple stock and I washed some of the gains that I had with Apple, with other stocks, and I sold profitably. I will be paying taxes. What I can do is I now have this money unlocked to be able to trade without fear of taxes into and out of small caps that, in my opinion, are desperately oversold and are setting up for a short squeeze. These are the traditional ones, the Shift Technologies, the Lemonade, the Tattooed Chef, even the Matterports or the Robinhoods or the Arrival, right? These are great companies that have been so oversold because they just have continued to go down. And so now, because I've liquidated my portfolio in most areas, I have more cash available to be able to take advantage of these swings, because I think some of these small caps have the potential to 4 to 8x their valuations, which is kind of insane and is substantially worth paying taxes on if you can hit this correctly.
So his first plan is to refinance his real estate, $5 million worth of it. So you're really taking out a loan of credit on these houses to buy stocks and to buy crypto. What if the market stay red for 2 years? Since I'm not a real estate head, I'm not even going to go into the details with that. And the second thing he said is to buy back small cap companies. It's a lot of small cap companies that he can swing trade and do all of that type of stuff because they're going to short squeeze. For him to be associated with the people he is associated with, that's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. For you to day trade and swing trade, you really need to be fully dedicated to that. Off of what I see, just common sense. I see Meet Kevin release about 5 videos a day. So think of this. This is 5 videos a day. The average of each video is over 30 minutes. He has a course or a Discord membership or whatever it is. Somebody said yesterday that the course is $600. I don't know how his Discord works, but I'm assuming that he probably do 1 video a day for them too. So that is 6 videos that you are producing. We're going to say he have to edit 2 of them. That's another 2 hours. You have a wife, and we gonna say he have 3 kids. I don't know how many kids he have, but I know he have more than 1. In between all of that, you are researching stocks, researching their trends, and researching when they're gonna squeeze. It's not impossible, but he's not gonna be able to do that. That's a dumb idea. Now, remind you, this is his money. This is my opinion. I'm just giving my opinion. He usually give his opinion when people make irrational decisions. He bash them and weenie babies and all that type of stuff. So, you know, he got to get the love back. So the next thing he did was went live at 10 p.m. Since I followed Meet Kevin, he don't go live at no 10 p.m. on a Sunday. So this brother was losing sleep. I'm assuming Jeremy and everybody else hit him up like, bro, you look real bad right now. He's reading all the comments because I see him liking the good ones. So he came out with another video saying the real reason why I sold. So if there's a real reason, you should have just did 1 video explaining why you sold, right? But let's watch a clip real quick explaining his real reason.
So what's the reason I sold? I sold because I believe the market is going to go down 20% more. And that's going to be really bad for certain stocks, but just because the market's going down 20% doesn't mean I need to sell. Like, I don't need to sell Tesla or Apple or whatever because the taxes are going to be painful, right? If net I have to pay somewhere around $3 or $4 million in taxes now for unrealized gains that now became realized gains, my bet needs to be not a 20% decline, or, you know, the market doesn't have to go down 20 or 30%. It should go down more than that. And then you'd have to perfectly buy that dip, right? And rotate back up. That doesn't make sense. That's illogical. That's a very hard thing to time. But what I'm actually doing is looking at the market and deciding, okay, what do I think Apple is going to do in the next year? 20%, 30%, 5%, move with the indices, right? What do we think Tesla's going to do in the next year? I don't know. I think by 2025, conservatively, it's a double or triple, right? Maybe it'll double within the next year. It entirely could. They'd go to 1,300 and Elon turns around and splits the stock. The thing goes and runs and goes crazy again. It's entirely possible. But here's the big trade. I'm going to reveal it after another sip of beer. And then I'm going to do Q&A because I'm all for transparency. Look, I get it. It's not fun to be hated on.
You feel the stock market is going to go down 20%. So let's just say if it's at $100 right here, 20% is going to go down to $80. It's going to lose $20. So it's going to go from 100 to 80. You believe that. Since you believe that the market is going to go down 20%, which I told you guys, it might be a red year, showed you numbers, but y'all don't like to listen to me. You decided to sell 20 million worth of stock in crypto, which you have to pay 20% of taxes on. So off rip, you are paying 4 million worth of taxes, give or take. And this is at the beginning of the year. You didn't do this last year. You did it already at the beginning of a new year. And you didn't do it when the market was up. You end up selling at the worst time you can sell in the last 6 months. Oh no! His plan is to buy back into the market and become a genius. Let's look at history, people. All right, so what we're going to do is just look at the Dow. Now, this is the Dow overall, such as all from when it started to now. Let's see people timing a dip. This is the first low dip. You have to know exactly what's going to dip right here to buy in right there. Was it really worth it? Buy in right here, sell right here, buy in right here. All right, so let's go to 10 years because it's going to get closer. In the last 10 years, where do you see the most recent dip that make the most sense to sell and the most sense to buy? Right here. This was the time to sell and this was the time to buy. How many people knew this? Nobody. During this dip, how many people knew it? Nobody. But you're telling us to believe that you are going to time the market when you just sold right here. You didn't even sell when everything was green. Like, make that make sense. This is the last month. You had a chance to sell right here. You had a chance to sell right here. You had a chance to sell right here. But you sold right here. So even if it keep on dipping, you don't know when it's going to bounce back. It's just a bad game plan. Overall, the brother needs some prayers. It's a bad game plan. I think he's a lot crazier than we expected to come up with this game plan. To do all of this without talking to his immediate circle and his immediate friends. I think his credibility for his channel just got shot. Because now, when I go to look at his channel, it's like, you lose a lot of respect. You don't have the same respect watching it. So hopefully this all blow over within the next 72 hours, next week or 2 weeks, and people go back regular. We will see, but I think there's going to be nonstop YouTube videos. Whatever he say, his credibility is not going to be that strong. Let me know in the comments, what is your thoughts? Hopefully this will be my last video talking about it. Brother is overall looking bad. That is my honest take to it. My name is Lando Success. If you guys haven't already, you can click the link in the description. You can get you some free stock, free crypto. Right now, Moomoo is giving you free stocks just by literally setting up an account and depositing any amount of money on there. I just did a video recently showing you guys the free stock that I received. So make sure you download that link in the bio. Press the like button, press the subscribe button. I'm Lando Success, and I'm out.